Welcome to Wines du Jour. This week's show, we're at one of my favorite places, especially if you like Japanese cuisine. It's on the Strip in Las Vegas in the Caesars Forum. Up on the third level, you've got a view you can't imagine, and the food and the hospitality here is unbelievably good. Tonight we're going to feature 3 wines as we always do. However, one of those wines is not truly a wine, it's not truly a beer. It's a Japanese drink called sake. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got some beautiful sake that we're going to do as the third wine this evening. Our first wine this evening is a Chardonnay from one of my favorite vineyards up in Mendocino County called Fetzer Winery. Beautiful winery, nice wines, and this is a 2011 Chardonnay. And wait till you see the sashimi that we got to go along with that. And then we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum when it comes to wine, and that's for Cabernet Sauvignon. And we have a man by the name of Cameron. We'll talk a little bit about him a little bit later. We're going to taste one of his Cabernet Sauvignons from Napa, California. So we've got Chardonnay from Sonoma, Mendocino County. We've got Cabernet Sauvignon from a beautiful area in Napa. And we've got some wonderful sake from the area where sake was originated, which is in Japan. Along with that, some good food. Chef Haru, is going to be here with us a little bit later. And we've got Johnny Seo, who is the general manager here at the restaurant, and he's very knowledgeable about food and wine. I don't know if he ever cooked or not. We're going to find out when we get him on the air. You'll be able to find out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back coast to coast and around the world on television, all around the world, when we come back. Don't go anywhere. See you in a minute.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Thanks for watching Wines du Jour. We're having a good time here, and I'm glad you were able to join us. What I'd like to do first is to introduce you to the general manager here at Sushi Ruku. This guy, he's from Japan, and he really knows his business. I don't know where he went to school. I don't know if he cooked or not, but you can talk to him about anything regarding the restaurant business, and he knows all about it. His name is Johnny Seo, and he's my guest here tonight. Johnny, thank you very much for sharing your restaurant with us tonight and the hospitality that you're going to have with the food that your chef has put together for us.
Welcome last to Sushi Ruku, Las Vegas.
Thank you. Now, you've been with Sushi Ruku. This is a chain of a few restaurants, and you've been with them for a while, or did you join them when they opened here in Las Vegas?
So I've been here more than 4 years, since 2009. The Sushi Ruku restaurant has been open since 1997 on 3rd Street, West Hollywood.
Oh, yes.
And my partner opened the restaurant. So before 1990s, most of the Japanese restaurant is like a classic, conservative, family-style restaurant. When we opened the restaurant, it's like a sensational, contemporary, modern Japanese restaurant, and they opened the restaurant with a great concept. That's why they made the name Roku. Roku meaning 6 essential elements of the restaurant. It's from the sight, smell, and touch, and taste, and service.
All the senses.
All the senses. So we have to make sure guest is happy, satisfied, fully satisfied. That's why all the Sushi Ruku restaurant, whoever comes to Sushi Ruku restaurant, they're blown away.
Yeah.
Not only from the food, but also all the hospitality as well.
Hospitality, not to mention the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Because they've got it set up very nice here. If you have an opportunity to come to Sushi Ruku in Caesars Forum, I just need to mention Caesars Forum is right next door, if you will, from Caesars Palace. Everybody's familiar with Caesars Palace. It's been here forever. They built a new section, which they call the Forum, and it's 3 levels. And this restaurant is sitting on the top level. So what that means is, if you get the right seat, you can look all the way down the strip at night. It's got to be just absolutely beautiful. The chef here really knows what he's doing as well. I guess he would, because Johnny would know who to hire. He knows what he's doing, so he hired somebody that really knows what's happening, and that's a good thing. Tonight we have, I mentioned earlier, 3 different wines, and we've got 3 kinds of food. The first food is going to be sashimi. This is a yellowtail sashimi, and if you don't know, yellowtail comes from the Hawaiian waters. Let me just have a little glass of wine. We have some Chardonnay from Fetzer. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'll just have a little taste along with Johnny here, and then we'll taste a little bit of the food that the chef has put together. If you get an opportunity, here you are, Johnny.
Right there.
Salute.
Salute.
You know, one of the things about wine, when we decide that we want to taste wine, whether you're at home or at a party or whether you're at a restaurant, it's best, if you would, to kind of swirl it around in your glass for about 10 seconds or so, and then take a look at it. And we're not looking for beasties or sawdust. We're just looking for reflection, the light that comes through the wine. I know, red wine, you don't get much light through it, and that's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for the reflection of light. And it gives us an idea, once you've been drinking wine for a while and get the idea, is that how old it is and what type of wine it might be. Now here we can tell it's a white wine, but it has a yellow straw cast to it. The taste actually is pretty good. And Fetzer makes beautiful wines out of Mendocino, which is just above the Sonoma County, if you know where that is, and Sonoma sits just above San Francisco. So now you know exactly where Mendocino is. I'm going to take a taste. This is very nice. Chardonnay should be around 55 degrees in temperature, where Cabernet Sauvignon is a little bit warmer, and it's around 65 degrees in temperature. Just so that you know. We'll talk probably a little bit about that when we get to the Cabernet. Johnny, let's take a little taste of this sashimi, see what we can do here. I love chopsticks. I hope you don't feel bad about it. Oh, these are nice big pieces too, aren't they?
And so Sushi Ruku restaurant is not cheap. We put our chef always put the great size, nice size of the sashimi all the time.
Very, very nice. Now there's a nice pairing. Chardonnay and yellowtail fish. How bad can that be? We've got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to meet Chef Haru. Chef Haru is the guy that makes all the sushi and all the other kinds of food that they have here, because Sushi Ruku does not have just sushi. They've got all kinds of food on the menu,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much again. We've got to go to a break. We'll be back right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Wines du Jour. Thanks for watching. We enjoy bringing you information every show about food and wine and pairing of foods and wine. Tonight we're at Sushi Ruku, which is a beautiful Japanese restaurant on the 3rd level at Caesars Forum. And we're lucky enough to have the chef who is born and raised in the restaurant business and actually in Japan and moved to the United States. And he was one of the first chefs to come to work here at Sushi Ruku when they opened. That's Chef Haru. Chef, thank you very much for coming over and spending some time with us. I appreciate it. Well, you really know how to cook. Did you go to school, or how did you,
I didn't go to
learn
school.
in
I
the
just
family?
grew up in, my family who has a restaurant business. And I got involved like when I was 20 years old, and I was washing dishes to prepping.
That's
food.
the way we all start.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I come to the United States, when I was 24, which is like almost 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got more involved to, Japanese cuisine.
Well, keep talking. I'm going to pour us a little bit of wine, okay?
All right.
I'll talk about it in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, and then, I started with this company when I was, it's like 2004. I got involved in Katana, which is in Hollywood. You know, same group, same restaurant,
yeah.
Sushi Ruku group, and I learned a lot from Katana, and I became a sushi chef when I came here, and that was 04. September.
in 04.
Yeah.
Here, have a little wine. Salute.
Salute.
You know, I always wonder, being a chef myself, I always wonder how you keep control of fresh fish, because we know sushi, there's a special grade of fish, which is the best grade there is, sushi grade they call it.
Right.
But sushi is something you have to worry about when it comes to fish. It's kept cold and it's sliced with very beautiful knives. To become a sushi chef is not something you do just because you have some business cards printed. There's more to it than that. So what kind of problems do you have here in the desert? It was 115 a couple weeks ago here, getting fresh fish to use for sushi.
Well, you know what, we get, you know, all deliveries like 6 days a week, actually from Japan. From Kyushu market to Tsukiji market, which is in Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a big, huge market in Japan. They actually import from Japan to here, Los Angeles, or even directly to Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not as big a problem as you might think.
There's no problem at all.
Ah, that's great. Well, I know that sushi is a very, very popular item all across the United States, but when you get out towards the western part, closer to Japan, if you will, there are more people that just love sushi. They go to sushi bars, all kinds of different ones. But you know, you have an elegance to what you do here. You don't just roll it up and throw it out, so to speak. You actually watch what you're doing. Every piece comes out beautiful. And not only do you have the fish, the sushi, but you also have other items on the menu. And that brings me to the item that you put together for our Cabernet Sauvignon that I mentioned earlier. That's Cameron Hughes. That is his lot number 136 Cabernet Sauvignon. Outstanding product. Cameron Hughes is a very unique individual. He goes around in Napa and Sonoma and Central California in particular and buys juice from wineries that have more juice than they need for their bottling, and then he takes that and works on it. He improves it. He may blend some other things with it to make a taste, and he's got a very good palate. So people that know Cameron Hughes know that if he's got his name on it, it's a bottle that you'd love to taste. So here we have his 2007 lot number 136, and with that, Chef Haru here has taken this, not just meatballs like you would find in an Italian restaurant, but some of the beef that was actually originated in Japan, Kobe beef. Some people call it Kobe, but it's really Kobe beef. It comes from an area in Kobe, the town of Kobe in Japan is where it started out, and they raise their cattle a little bit different. It's not only a unique species of cattle, but the way they feed it and treat it while it's growing up, if you will, is a little bit different. Bottle of beer, little massage, all kinds of things to make this meat the tastiest possible. Kobe beef is considered, it's really, the species is Wagyu. That's the name of the species, like Holstein or Angus Wagyu. So, but it's called Kobe beef if it's actually raised in Kobe, Japan. Now we have people in the United States that have Wagyu beef that they raise in Oregon and in Texas and other places, and they can't call it Kobe beef, but they do call it Wagyu. So if you see Wagyu on a label in a restaurant, that's what it means. It's a Kobe style beef from the Wagyu species. And beautiful meatballs that he's done here, along with he wrapped it in filet. I mean, not to make it worse, he also added a little bit of beautiful asparagus to go along with it. Now let's take a taste, if you would. I know you like your own cooking, so you don't mind taking a taste, right?
This Kobe meatball is like crunchy outside and juicy inside.
Very good. Let's try
nice
that.
Combination.
That sounds great. Oh, you're right. A nice crunch on the outside, but juicy and soft and very tasty on the inside. Now, let's try a little wine. Cameron Hughes did a good job. Isn't that nice, Cabernet?
Very
Beautiful
nice.
combination for wine number 2 here on Wines du Jour. We've got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk again with General Manager Johnny Seo, who is from Korea, not from Japan. My mistake. Sorry about that. But he's a good guy. He really knows what's happening. And we're going to talk about wine number 3, which is sake. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Wines du Jour. We're here at Sushi Ruku, a beautiful restaurant. If you like Japanese food, or if you just like regular kinds of food, they also have some, let's call it American items that you could find on the menu. But mostly Japanese, and if you've not been to Japan, I tell you, you should schedule a trip over there. Japan is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been in. It's one of the cleanest, friendliest, and also one of the most crowded, but the food is spectacular. There's no exception. The chef was born and raised in Japan. He comes here and he's doing it the right way. The food in this restaurant is cool. Take a look at the sushi that he has together to go along with this sake. And we said, get a little bottle of sake. So we came up with this. We couldn't find a little one, so we decided this would work out pretty good. And if you don't mind, Johnny, I'm going to pour a little bit of this sake. We can taste it, huh?
Great.
I think this one's Ruku.
I'm excited to have great sake here.
Oh yeah, this is not an inexpensive.
I'm the expert for the sake, so I know.
There you go. Okay.
Let me pour it for you.
Sure. Okay. Perfect.
No, I don't need to walk out tonight, so it's heavy.
Yeah. Well, one of the beautiful things about sake is, number one, it's made very close to the way they make beer. That's the fact. They don't call it a beer because it isn't brewed specifically like beer, and they don't call it a wine, although most people think of it as a wine because of the way it looks. It doesn't have all the bubbles and the foam. So you need to know that it comes from rice. That's the basis. And God knows everything from Japan seems to have rice in it when it comes to food, and there's no exception with sake. But let me tell you, sake is not just a product. There's 5 different kinds of sake. I don't want to confuse you with all that information tonight, but the low end and the high end taste completely different from each other, and they're both sakes. Tonight, we're on the high end. This is a very high quality sake, and if you take a look at it, it has a nice glowing yellow color to it. Most sake, it looks like water. It's clear. So that's one way to tell the quality here is a little bit higher, and it's based on the rice on the outside, the hull, if you will, how much of it they remove before they use it to brew, if you will, for with alcohol. And they actually brew it and then they add alcohol to it. It's a little different than we make beer in the rest of the country. So that's what makes the difference. But the styles are similar. What do you think, Tony? Let's taste that.
Yes. Yes, this sake is like daiginjo sake. Daiginjo sake we polish, 50% polished. And this sake is brewed from Gohyakuman Goku rice.
Right.
So we
it's
call
a special rice.
Special rice. So most of the sake from the Yamada Nishiki is a high-end rice, but Gohyakuman Goku is maybe 25% of the rice in Japan is like this high-end rice. This is a small corner, and we have to polish it, and then going to be smaller. So this one, not many sake brewery using this Gohyakuman Goku.
Right.
This is like a micro brewery, like a G-sake micro brewery using this one high-end sake. This is great sake.
Very
so
good.
Lighter and then fruitier.
Now, Chef Haru has gone ahead and made some sushi for us. Let's get it over here where we can take a good look at it. We'll take a little taste. This is what he calls Katana roll.
Katana.
Katana roll.
Katana
What
restaurant.
is that? Could you tell
Yeah,
us?
Katana restaurant. The Katana restaurant is kind of the Nihon Japanese sword. The Japanese sword.
Uh-huh.
And then, but we have beautiful, great Japanese restaurant, kind of robota grill, and then sushi concept restaurant on the Sunset Boulevard, the Beverly Hills. It's a beautiful restaurant on Sunset Boulevard. You should go there. And then they made our corporate chef made a katana roll since 10 years ago. And then we got this katana roll to our Sushi Ruku restaurant. It's a shrimp tempura with the spatula roll and tuna and yellowtail on top and spicy mayo dot. It's a great, amazing balance. And this one goes there with the daiginjo as well.
Oh yeah, it really tastes great. This is just outstanding sake. I think it's very good. And of course the sushi here is just unbelievable. It's just really tasty. And when you put the two together, you know exactly what we try to do every week here on Wines du Jour, and that's to pair good food with good wines together. Because together it's better. We always say wine is food. A meal is a meal, but with a glass of wine, it's a celebration. From casual gatherings to formal affairs, wine celebrates any event. So I'm happy that you were able to stay with us for a little while today on Wines du Jour. If you have an opportunity to come to the Caesars Forum on the 3rd level, Sushi Ruku is a place you have to have lunch or dinner at any day. It is absolutely outstanding. My suggestion would be to call and make a reservation, but if you don't, it'll be okay. They'll take good care of you. Just tell them you know Chef Johnny, who is the manager, and Chef Haru, who is the chef here at the restaurant. We're almost out of time, but I'm going to ask Johnny if he tell us a little bit more about his restaurant here, because I can't tell you everything. It is unbelievable. I haven't met a person that has been here that isn't anxious to come back. We'll put it that way. I shouldn't say that in front of her, but it's true. Johnny, tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, Sushi Ruku restaurant is like a contemporary modern Japanese restaurant. So we have a lot of young crowd this year during weekend, and there were business people and family crowd during the weekday. So as I told you, 6 cents, like we have to make your ear beautiful, amazing. So we have great music here, music selection. Also we have beautiful presentation of food, and the amazing chef always make a special time, and then it's a great venue for your party and the family reunion. Come to the Sushi Ruku restaurant, enjoy your dinner with the sake together and wine.
Lunch or dinner, the food is absolutely superb. You can get almost anything you want. If you don't see it on the menu and you have a sushi that's a favorite of yours, ask the chef. Chances are he can run in there and fix it for you without a problem. I want to thank you very much for watching Wines du Jour. We're here again at the Sushi Ruku in the Caesars Forum on the Strip in Las Vegas, where you should be. It's a great place to visit if you haven't been here for a while. I have to tell you, this sake is great. I want to thank you again for watching, and we'll be back next time, right after these.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Good night.
VAsianTV, the community channel for Asian Americans in Las Vegas.